bottom of the items. And the new housing RCMP unit, that's a development permit, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
We are not.
okay. All right, let's call our meeting to order. It is 7:09 PM. 9/2020 by a council and new housing where the digging just happened. So development permit and related concerns. Councilor Hassan can break those up to us if he wants or make a motion to them when we. Any other would be 11C, donation to SPCA. Favor of adopting the amended agenda. 7 in favor and none against. Tonight by any of the councilors. Okay, no hands seen. Remember, if something pops up, you can always mention it at the time.
What about the mayor on the?
Oh, yes, I'm going to declare a bias on the land purchase. And I work for the big business. You did know that that's all the declarations of interest tonight. Councilor absences. We do have notification from Councilor Citizen by our meeting RM1. Moved by Councilor Morrow, seconded by Deputy Mayor Antoine, that council approve the minutes of COW 08, the COW meeting of 2020, of August 10, 2020, as presented. Any carried? Minutes are adopted. For the second set, I've got a motion moved to 20 as presented.
Citizen.
Okay,
Okay.
one change there. All right, well, with that change and that amendment, okay, motion's carried.
There was one thing
Oh, yes,
I forgot to mention that Councilor Hassan, this program, I thought he had sent.
I just noticed that myself.
Hmm?
I just noticed that myself.
But that was in a different meeting. That was on a different.
I was pretty sure that was the same one.
Yeah. that's
I don't
what
remember
thought,
being
too.
there while doing.
September, this is September 8th.
8th.
That was September 8th.
Yeah.
That was, we should support the school by donating 5,000, which I know that we used to donate it to a different organization. But then the other one came in a different,
Oh,
in a different meeting. Yeah,
yeah.
thank you.
So, so the third set of minutes, 7C, on the agenda, motion moved by Councilor Lafferty, seconded Councilor Ponting, that council approved the minutes of committee of leaders. Yes, no, okay. Anybody with any concerns? Hands up for as presented. 7-4, none against. Councilor Lafferty, that by law. Oh, no. Is that it? No, I guess that's the one that went missing.
Okay, 7D.
I'm sorry, but just going back to the
Yep.
last one for September 14th. It doesn't show, I sent you an email, September 14th to you and, or
Okay,
just to you.
Have you seen that? And the other one
Yeah,
is,
to Daryl and Sean. I said, I would like a question to be excused for tonight's meeting.
all right.
And the other point, and then on the agenda it said September 8th, so get that corrected.
Okay,
And that date is,
on the agenda it does.
Yeah, it's on the header, it says 21st. Minutes of regular council meeting RM 18-2020, September 21st.
Yeah.
And then, well, the agenda here, look. You can
Okay,
see that?
We just passed the resolution for accepting the minutes for September 8th.
And the agenda, it says,
Oh, okay.
there's a
Okay.
discrepancy. Yeah, and like,
Yeah,
this
you
is
got
the
that.
minutes, I'm looking.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I got the agenda here,
right,
see?
First indeed.
yeah.
So it just has to be corrected.
Okay.
Make a regular council meeting, September 20.
Going back to,
and then again, there's
7A,
Counselor Citizen is down as M Citizen.
to approve the minutes of August 10th, Committee of the Whole. Can the mover and seconder, this is the one that Deputy Mayor says she asked to be excused from, but it's not marked down as that.
No, not that one.
Okay, let's go through these one at a time. Has anybody got any issues with the first one? Committee of the Whole 08, August 10th? No? That one's good? All right, and any other changes to that September 8 one? Or is that good? September 14, is this the one where M to R Citizen again?
Her
Well,
city
I know
sent
she
an
has,
email.
they have her down as absent.
Okay, so this one here,
Mhm.
with the change,
Of Deputy Mayor Antoine
to,
But
should
she's-
be excused.
But she was listed as absent, so that she
So,
was,
Darrell, just explain that we don't usually do excuses.
oh, on Committee of the Whole,
yeah.
that's right,
Okay.
yeah, okay,
Okay, that's why you didn't have it.
that's right.
And that's fine.
Okay, yeah, because in our bylaw, related to absences, we just talk about regular meetings.
Right.
Are there any other, right, that was approved, and presented? Now the last one here, can I get a mover and a seconder for this last set?
With the amendment, right?
Yeah, this one about the 8 and the 21st, right?
Yeah.
So, moved by Councilor Person, seconded by Councilor Ogier, that council approve the minutes of regular meeting RM 18-2020 of September 21st, 2020. As amended, already noted that although the meeting was on the 21st, it is to be changed to the 1st. Other than that, any other changes on that set of minutes? 7 in favor, none against. Motion's carried. Okay, mayor report. There's another one it is. So I plan on attending that. Health minister at that time. I don't know if the premier will be on the line, but the health minister will be.
Me, that they're putting toward that new position for COVID. What is it going to do for us? Are we what's going to be reporting who's coming and going over the ferry, from out of town?
We have somebody else.
Oh,
And I've heard we're getting up to 4 positions here.
really? Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
They're not advising.
Yes.
In addition to Council Lafferty, for some people who are going to be in your life, and because right now we don't see any difference, and we have to be honest. For the government, whatever is going in the government, we don't even feel it. We don't feel that people are working from home or feeling like as residents we have elders homes, we have long term. That's how it's working even here. So that money they're wasting. I don't say thank you.
They're spending so much money on those hotels and, they or anything and here, and that could go out to the region.
Do is hang your food on the door, and that's it. Then now you pay for less. Nobody comes in the room for 14 days. I was there 14 days. You do your own. They leave enough linen and stuff. You do it yourself.
They didn't even leave linen in Yellowknife. They had to ask for.
More food than better than we do. We don't normally get bacon and eggs. You don't get no ketchup. You don't get no juice. And if you get Chinese food or whatever it is, you don't get soy. The food we get there that they give you is leftover stuff. But you can't go to the store for you. That's just the service charge, and they don't bring it to you. You can, but the meals, you get salad. I got a list I showed you.
To check up. Those positions they're talking about, as you mentioned, Councillor Hassan, it does seem that there are a lot of perhaps office jobs,
Yeah.
some frontline people, but I don't even see much of a change with hiring of the one enforcement person here in the community warnings. There's a little bit better than it was before, but person takes there, and again, it's almost always going to be after the fact by the time the report gets back to the enforcement person here. So I don't know if we need 4 of them, even in the region. Utilizing local resources, perhaps we can even accommodate in how many of our residents can come back here, because it seems a lot of extra stress put on them to service over there. So this whole thing of, give us a little money for that. We'll run a better place over here. And even, I think there's a bit of a willingness there to talk about that. I'd like to get on the phone and the money, well, even Councillor Bellefontaine, that's not good. And if there's $60 million available, we could do a lot here to reduce the interactions of people. I mean, if they say that people can't go anywhere, how does that leave the couch service? But they probably will. So unless there's a place to put people, and in cities like Edmonton, they've asked the federal government for money to buy or to sell out, and they're using it as homeless accommodations for people that need a place. All related to COVID, because they never really were that concerned before, but now they know they have to have them in a place where they can stay away from other people if they get sick or, that's that.
Thank you. I'm sorry to talk again, but this is one of the things which I think we should also, if you can raise it with the Minister of Health. It's an issue that I raised at the Regional Wellness Council. Right now, most people, they get COVID money, and we've seen how people use it, or how people start like a lot of drinking going on in our communities. So we should be prepared. And what are they prepared about? Do they have a plan to deal with the detox of the people when they have no more? Like right now, people are with that. We don't want to go there until we fall on the trap. Then we say, "Oh, we're not expecting that." We should expect that right now from now, and we should plan for it and how to deal with these issues. In the meantime, alcohol is an issue. It's an issue all over this region. So, and right now, you notice, or I know that there might be the Russian might be lifted or whatever. So all these things are going to be, we are not going towards the best. The way I see it, we are going to a narrow area. So what are their plans to deal with that before we reach there? Thank you.
Okay, I'm writing it down. So I've got 4 items to bring up. Um, One is bureaucracy and the cost to us. I've got the idea of the bad food service and service in general at the isolation center, expanded into that. The idea of a winter shelter, if some of this 60 million, then perhaps we could be included in on some of that money. And the alcohol in the last 3 or 4 months, and when suddenly there are benefits.
About the long term, we don't have enough long facility that can accommodate more clients in the long term center. We have very limited capacity.
Right. Now, how does that relate to COVID?
Yeah, we can use part of that money which are wasting on
Right, this is just in general, monies that could go to better ideas, right? Okay. All right, I'll definitely bring those items to the meeting. But that's my report, that's all I have for you. Daryl, did you have an SAO report?
A few points, your worship, members of council. Just wanted to report that most of our capital projects have been completed. A few little tidy ups to do. Chip seal has been completed. The water sewer tie-ins and storm drainage. The curling slab has been poured and is curing. At the water treatment plant, there's a new step into the building, a new loading dock, which will be heated. So it's a heated concrete pad for a good safety measure for both staff and contractors. The trail project has completed its, I'll call, first phase. And next year we hope to complete the lookout lookout area up on top of the hill. So we're exploring avenues for that. The crew from NTPC, indications are they should be starting that project of the 3 lights down Benoit Drive. So that's being covered under our CAP program. And that's the basic capital that we've done this year. There will be a capital plan coming forward next week at our first budget meeting, which will talk about our plans for 2021 going forward. The council had discussed the Community Wood Project through Arctic Energy Alliance. So I just wanted to give council an update on that. That is a community-driven project whereby AEA and a community sponsor participate to provide good energy efficient wood stoves with a possible inclusion of pellet stoves into the projects. So it is AEA funds 50% of the total cost of a purchase install scenario with either the homeowner and or community partners looking after the other 50%. There are, if we were going to go down that road, we need to have a bit of a further discussion, maybe at committee level, see what kind of commitments the council may be interested in making and what maybe council's expectation would be of community members who may want to participate in the program. So we'll be getting a committee meeting together in the next week or so. So
Yes.
what they are suggesting is in this season, the fall season, we do the purchase of units. And so we're not going to actually have the benefit until next winter. So they do a purchase of units in the fall and then do the installs the following spring. So if we were going to participate, we'd get things in over the winter, and contract with someone to do the wet installs in the spring. But there are some details I'd like to talk to committee and council about before we jump in.
Okay.
Thanks.
We have responded to the request from Nick and Karen Siviston on the Bannockland Road. So they're advised of the matters related to the road. And, at this point, we're not prepared to take over that road. Also, at our next committee meeting, we're going to look to explore a possible reimbursement program back to residents for water and/or sewer pump outs. So we're exploring the costs of that, and we'll be reporting to committee and hopefully have something ready for before the end of our budget process. So it's something we're looking at. And I believe that's all, Your Worship.
Okay, anyone have any questions for SAO White? Yes, Councillor Hassan?
Thank you. What's the updates on the crossing traffic light?
We sent all of that equipment back to the supplier because we aren't going to do it.
Okay.
No, we're right now coordinating with NTPC.
Good one. Okay, great. Any other questions? No? All right. Let's move on to, 9 table items and no business. There is none. 10 committee minutes. There are none. 11 new business, and we do have a letter from the Declared First Nation concerning a name change, and that would be to see
For
That's the one
living
that-
trees houses. Because
Will Michaud lives on it, and his
this
dad.
was sold in the past and,
It was before I was on. I remember.
yeah,
I
but,
remember it.
yeah,
one
and I
time.
think the thing was, there's supposed to be a survey or, to talk to the people, the residents.
I thought the concern was also like changing. If ever,
The street before, I guess, and I don't think it's, unless you could note them, I suppose, but by the way, there's an address change, but within the year, you usually have to say,
Go down
I think it
around,
probably
it
goes
sort
to
of
the river. Yeah,
it snakes down to the river, eh?
Yeah.
So,
I do like the idea. I think when you go to communities where they have those kinds of names,
Yeah.
it makes it a lot easier. And here we've got 101 Avenue, 101 Street, and
and,
When this was brought up in February the 13th, 2018.
mhm.
The motion was passed. Oh, that was by them.
Supported,
Oh,
yeah, they
I thought it
supported.
was the village.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
they
Okay,
supported.
my
it.
mistake.
Councillor Hassan?
You asked for a mover, is it right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. I thought that.
Yeah. It's okay, girl. I got I'll just the name of, say in the village of Fort Simpson to Cree Avenue. Moved by Councillor Hassan. Seconders, okay. Councillor Morrow. All right, so up for discussion, and is there anything to say about this? Yes, Deputy Mayor.
They, Liza's right, they didn't say what part, because the road goes to William's house, and then it goes this way a little ways, and it goes right across the river.
I thought that was not one road.
Is that one
It's
road?
all 95th.
Yeah.
So they want that whole thing changed to Tree Lake?
Yeah.
Tree Lake.
The avenue, yeah.
Tree Avenue or
Yeah.
Lane or?
Yeah, there's not that many houses on it.
My driveway's on that side, it's,
You use the wrong, it's not your municipal area and that street. And it would be a good way to commemorate her and the things she did for the community. So based on history and the family not having any name of a street in the community, I think it's a good idea. But we have to change then, we have a traffic bylaw, and doesn't it list all, yes, to move ahead with that process? But
Instead of a motion, it's gonna be a resolution now.
right now, it's just it's a,
Started the process.
but yeah, we may have to then change a bylaw related to the traffic, the streets and signs and things like that, because there's just, in that traffic bylaw, there's a listing doing anything else that we found this idea to change the street. Everybody in favor? 7 in favor, none against. So, item brought up by Councilor Hassan. We sort of wanted to talk about two things. I put them under the one heading of development permits and releases. You wanted to talk about the Northern Store gas bar and the new housing where the RCMP units are going. So go ahead and.
Thank you. I know that last year, a contractor dug the road between the gas bar and Service Canada or the Nahendi in the past, and still there is nothing happened. And every time it's getting bad and it's getting worse. And I believe the village.
Should be done, will be done by roads, yes.
Okay.
So we don't pay anything on it.
No.
Thank you.
Okay, and you had one other issue? The new housing, RCMP
Yeah,
units?
that one, I remember few, like the previous council, one day, they don't pass the motion for them to the end of the street. Some building got, even the neighbors, they did not have any clue what's going on. And out of the blue, they found themselves that they could not go through the road. So I don't know how that happened. I know that the apply for the development permit, did they add that? That's one. The second thing, all the buildings there, their entrance is going to be on where the sidewalk is, and the sidewalk is like a curve, like
There's a lift there, right?
yes. So
Very
who is going to
interesting.
fix the sidewalk in the future? Is it the village or the contractor or the housing? So it's three parts. The first part is the development permit. How detailed was it? What was added what was on the development permit, and how we blocked the rain out of the blue. You dug a hole in the middle of the road, and who is going to fix that? Thank you.
Okay, we'll let SAO White answer that.
At the time the development permit was put forward, valves that were not working. So as the project unfolded, I don't know if that answers the question or not. With respect to closing the road, reasons, and we certainly do appreciate the inconvenience that it does cause to residents. And the road closure was as short as it could be, although I know it was there quite a while. Have a little more input on, then we can certainly revisit that. What was the last part of your question? Or is that covering your points?
Yeah, almost. But the last part is
The sidewalk.
The sidewalk.
The sidewalks, any sidewalk reinstatement or changes done to the sidewalk to accommodate vehicles will not be done at the village cost.
Okay.
Thank you.
And just to add to that, I know in the past we've had some demolitions and excavation work where contractors end up leaving a bit of a mess on the roads, like mud even. And I don't know if we have anything in place to say you've got to sweep the street afterwards. I guess it was never a big deal before because we didn't have so many streets chip sealed. Now we do. And I know it's been brought to my attention by a couple of residents that we should be watching out for that.
That information has been communicated quite strongly to the contractor about bringing the area back to the condition it was before they started, in all manners.
Yeah, I mean, certain things are unavoidable, but, yes, Councillor Hassan?
I would like to ask the mayor and the council that there is another issue which honestly it just slipped out of my mind. I don't know how we're gonna deal with it. We got an email from one of the residents in regards to Jimmy Isaiah's road. So I don't know how we're gonna deal with it. If you guys want, if there is any possibility that we can amend the agenda or how we're gonna address this issue.
Well, you can come up with a motion anytime.
Okay, so I want to bring a motion to deal with Jimmy Isaiah's road.
To do what, though? You could just make the motion and it becomes,
Isn't it just operational that administration would deal with it?
well, maybe just give us a quick rundown of what your concern is and then,
It needs to be improved. The road is in very bad condition, or as the residents mentioned, that it's a disgrace condition. So I don't know how we're gonna deal with it. Is it a municipal road or is it? I think it's a municipal road, so it's our responsibility to fix that road.
Could I suggest we have maybe further discussion during budget and maybe even at a committee level on it? Because I wonder where you want to go with it.
yeah. There are,
Does it need to
that
be
is like an
covered
access
with gravel
road.
or?
A lot of
does
heavy
it need to
equipment
be-
uses that road.
I think it's the road to your
Yeah.
dad's area, is it right?
Yeah, wasn't it just graded recently? Because I drove by after seeing the email, and I mean, I drive there all the time and I didn't find it that bad, but I mean,
Yeah.
my understanding is to me, it's an industrial road where we have big trucks going, so I didn't, I didn't, if you go to Hay River, they've got the residential area, which is all paved roads, and then you've got your industrial area, which is way worse than what we have here.
We could possibly gravel that road and
So-
ditch it. That,
For further discussion with the budget, is that possible? That we bring it as an item that we gonna fix gravel, whatever, do to that road.
yeah, I mean, it should look at capital, almost,
Capital
some of it's
project.
capital related, because you're changing almost the status of a road from a dirt road to a gravel road, and change. It's not just replacing gravel that was there, it's an upgrade, so to me, it's a capital cost. It's probably monies that we could use from gas tax and what type of gravel, how much. Let's just leave it until the budgeting process. Having brought that with perhaps some estimated costs related to doing work up there, you know. Okay, Councilor Bellefontaine?
I was just gonna say too, if we keep in mind we had issues with ditching before that led to other problems, so we should probably be very careful.
Yeah, it might
Like,
be engineered a
think
bit.
it out how we do it before we just.
Construction, that's the one they're talking Isaiah. It's flat, there's no ditches there, it's very little to be on.
Yeah, realistically, it's probably a next, so we do have time.
It's rough because it's been raining and soupy, they never fix it, eh? You know what I mean? Too busy. Because Pat Rowe uses it all the time, it's all the way down, right down to their place, it goes right clean around, eh?
I think it should be
Starts
surveyed.
Pumps.
So it's already.
It gets sloppy on the bridge or muddy sand.
Third item under 11, business, I've got a donation to SPCA. You wanted to bring this up, and did you have a motion attached to that item?
I
You wanna make
guess,
one?
I could. I'll start with, there's some people that are upset because the vet clinic got pushed off a little bit. But at this time, they're really struggling for funding. And when I'm there in Yellowknife on the weekends, if I stop by to see them to walk dogs or something, while I'm there, the phone does not stop. And if you look, I like that dog, you know, can I get it? The fundraisers they do, going down to the border to drop dogs off, to meet other people, to switch them over, planning everything, doing, like, there's so many things you just don't see. And I actually got some numbers here. So in 2019, it cost 600 plates, but freight alone was 33,000, medical 95,000. So people from communities that maybe can't afford the vet care, they just surrender their dog. So then the dog has to be flown out from the community. Then they have to pay the medical bills, and they get discounts, but still 95, 52 were from Yellowknife, and 63 were actually born in the shelter because they ended up going out pregnant. So we couldn't function the way we do without their so. And I noticed a lot. That first year I was here, Lois and we sent out, it had to be 200 dogs in that first year. Some of them were from the yard, but a lot from Port Simpson. So my suggestion is that we give $10,000, which sounds like a lot to some people, but honestly, if you got the calls that I got from people in the community that ask for help, from a lot to ask, my next thing is that I'd have you and say, look, here we've seen big improvements here. So we want to work with the SPCA. We've been doing regular vet clinics, and now I'd like to challenge other people. Posted on Facebook, well, how come you guys were only open for 2 hours? But the thing is, for them to do that, they even take pictures of the items. So they'll take a picture, oh, I want a size medium, but they haven't had time to update the picture. And people say, well, you didn't support them because they've supported us, no questions asked. I know.
Sean,
Yeah. Oh, Councilor Hissar.
Thank you. I think I'm personally in them, but how can we support them when we don't know? Yeah, Mr. Belafontaine mentioned on your presentation, you mentioned a lot of things. Like, we don't know, is it not better if this is being written on a paper that, oh, you guys support us, this is what we need, and this is what we're going to do? Then we can approve it for them, or the council can discuss it and give them something or donate to them. But right now it's just something without, there is nothing to hold. Thank you.
I don't agree, but
Any problem as councilor, I don't have any problem to support them, but what kind of support should I give them? They want.
the thing is, they're not necessarily asking. This is just a suggestion. So, I mean, I could ask them we already know they have the need, and all of their stuff is posted. We post all of their information from their AGMs and stuff. So
This is something similar to what you would have agreed to. That council approved a $10,000 donation to assist the SPCA continue their excellent work for communities such as Fort Simpson through a difficult fundraising year due to COVID. And then
I should have mentioned too that typically they a gala every year, and from their gala, last year they brought in $69,000. This year they couldn't do it because of COVID. They also had fewer volunteers because of COVID, and a lot of people that feel they don't, for whatever reason through COVID, they feel they don't have enough. So they've been giving them up to SPCA, and that's part.
now that since we do have a motion moved by Councilor Bellefontaine, let me just add change. Second it? All right, then once it's on here, at least we can discuss it further, amend it, do whatever we want to do now.
2 years ago, 2 of my dogs got into $1,200 for the breeder, plus my traveling to Yellowknife for 2 dogs. So So it cost me about 2,000, but I went through, Pet Aid, and they loaned me and I paid it off. And then when I gave my dog up from my,
Yeah, because the SPCA, they, for example, I've even known them to help with flights. If their dog is injured in the middle of nowhere, how is that person going to get the dog there and then pay for the bills? And a lot of times pet care is available to people, but for whatever reason, either they can't afford or they feel they can't afford paying for all the care. So in addition to this, I think we definitely immediately, I think we need to deal with the concern that if the SPCA doesn't continue to get funding, they could close down, and then we're
if we can do with 5,000 and ask the smaller communities to throw in some money too.
We do assist.
Can we afford to do?
I know before we had set us 20,000, so it could be as we were had 2 vet clinics, and because of COVID, we couldn't get it. I don't know if this year there was the same put aside. I think it was last year we had put aside 20 because we wanted to get 2 clinics. So then since we didn't do 2, and because we don't have a bylaw person, I think there would have been money saved there that could have been applied to this. And I'm not thinking that this will be a regular thing. I don't think it's necessarily Fort Simpson's job to vet. We've certainly taken our share from them, and they have other costs. So it's not like they're ever making money off us. They've never made money off of our community. We're more of a drain on them.
It's good to be socially responsible and even though more of our part, I think. Councillor Hassan?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Belafontaine. I just have a question. I'm against the money. Very simple question. Are they gonna send whenever we need, say, a vet? We don't have a vet now. We are not. They have vets in Yellowknife, and there will be no any problem for a vet to come from Yellowknife here. They don't need to self-isolate for 14 days. They don't need anything. If we need the vet to come regularly, if we give them this money is going to go to Yellowknife. Let's be honest with that. Is it going to help us here? And if they're going to help us here, how? And that's my only question. Thank you.
I know from what I read in the paper that the SPCA is in desperate need of funds just to maintain the services that they're providing right now. And with COVID, they're having less volunteers in Yellowknife. So while for us to step up a bit, and whether it's 5,000 or 10,000, but to me it's a special year too, because they can't do their normal gala where they raise maybe $60,000 or $70,000 every year. If Councillor Bellefontaine wants to be the voice, we could be the ones that start something for the SPCA. I know we haven't got a bylaw, and it's a good thing that the SPCA does take dogs. I think they like the idea that the SPCA is there to help. Is all booked up already. If even a donation could, put in a good word and see if we can't stretch that out another day and get even more people to go. That definitely helps.
We do pay for our system when they come here.
At a greatly reduced rate, though.
Yeah.
They basically go at cost or less for the charges. And I've seen it where they don't even charge. That they'll say a donation if you really have no money. So it's something to think about. Let's ask SAO White what he thinks about the size of the donation proposed in the budget.
One option to consider, maybe doing 5 in this fiscal and budget for 5 next year to get that 10,000 over a couple of fiscals. The other thing that council, I know in the past we've had annual requests from the the Northern Art Society for 5,000, and to come and do performances in the village.
That's right.
You know, if they're not able to do that,
You go far
I'll give it to SPCA.
to donate to the NBT Arts?
I know that they were in town. My sense is they do have an expectation. So,
See, I think that they probably do get government funding to a certain extent. I know the SP possible transfer of the money. It's
We
Yeah.
have a budget for that, right?
And I mean, as the dog problems gradually start to become a little less, the money, neglected dogs and care about
so
our dogs.
and what I would say to council, your worship, is that overall budget to carry that cost.
I mean, I think maybe we should just do the 5 on the basis that the NBT Arts
I call
Council.
question.
Go question.
Call the question?
Yes.
Okay, so it reads 10,000.
Mhm.
So I'll see a show of hands if everybody's in agreement to go ahead with the vote. Okay, first, you call motion. 6.
What, in regards to what, the money?
Oh, yeah, the money and the whole idea of the
Okay,
donation.
everybody else. Everybody, okay.
7 for, none against. Let's leave somewhat the timing of the dispersal of the funds up to our SAO, because it sounds like perhaps this might be better delivered over 2 fiscals. We're close to the end of this one. But the intent is that we try to get a donation to the SPCA for 10,000. Yeah,
And then is it okay, because I don't want other communities to donate? And is that going to look bad if I'm the one doing it, or should the village?
That's you
Maybe
do
the
it.
village.
That's you do it.
I think you have a lot of involvements with your, Lois and you were taking care of dogs in the community. You worked with the SPCA quite a bit. I see no conflict there. This is
I just wouldn't want to say, as the village of Fort Simpson, I'm challenging, and then somebody say, well, I don't think you should be representing us that way, so.
no, I
wanna
think
make sure.
you say that the village of Fort
Yeah.
Simpson has done this. And you can say that, are challenging and
Right.
speak like that.
I'd like to, if it's going to be a challenge, it should come from the mayor on behalf of the council.
Okay, well, I could say,
That's just what I was,
Yeah, so you
the
just put
village
the
is challenging,
information
you can
together.
just speak to the
because,
challenge,
yeah,
right?
because otherwise then each
It
of us could be like, well, I kind of want this, and then all of us will be saying, I challenge them for this, and.
You can say
we
your
could be-
views.
Well, let's issue a press release
Mhm.
and send it out to the media, and we'll put it the right way,
Mhm.
like Councilor McPherson has said, and then, go ahead and be interviewed and whatever, it'll be at least.
But I think that would look good, because then it's starting a bigger thing. It's not just us doing a one-time thing. It's all of Northwest Territories. We have 33 communities. Some are much smaller, but they could contribute something. And if it would be nice to see just every community give something,
Mhm.
So I think that would really help. And then at the end of the day, if we can see that because of this, they got a certain amount of money, I think that would be, and I think people here will be proud that
We stepped up.
we're doing something. So.
Okay. I will do that.
The dog is done.
Thank you.
All right. A land purchase, I will to the deputy mayor and turn the chair of the meeting over to her. I'll leave the room.
Is this the third reading?
Third
Yeah.
reading.
Thank you. So I'll just read it, moved by
That's
Troy
me.
Belafontaine, seconded by Marie Lafferty, that bylaw number 2020 dash.
Quicker than the last one.
I listened to you.
Do I sign this or does the mayor?
And you told me.
I can sign it.
Sometimes he's just a little longer.
Done.
Okay.
I don't know if I completed it properly.
You did.
Do I have to check it?
That looks good. So now we have 12 by Councilor Morrow, the bylaw 2020, the heading on that bylaw. So with that, any further discussion? All correspondence and information, concerns. Maybe we'll start with Councilor Lafferty and work our way around the table. Do you have any council issues or concerns?
No, not this time.
Okay. Councilor Belfontaine.
I'd like it torn down, but besides that,
Is it accessible?
yeah, you'd never know if somebody went in and got hurt. You wouldn't really know anyone was in there. With cold coming, people might go in there just to be out of the cold. It's probably just not.
We can do that. And
It has before.
yeah. Okay, any other council issues or concerns?
On the slide, I had asked if we can get looked into whether it's an environmental issue that
We're going to just, I mean, strongly as much as we can encourage people not to impact into the snide, damage it, have any kind of environmental impact to it. So that's ongoing at this point.
We've got 4-wheelers going down our trails and it's good to let them know.
Thank you.
Councillor Hassan.
We're gonna have a DNA language time for the word unity, and the chief of the council of the LKFN and they check with Andy for the coming probably before we open. It's a very beautiful sign, which the word unity in the DNA language. Thank you. You will learn more, and I believe that it will be an additional vocabulary to the.
Very good, thank you. Councillor McPherson, any?
The only thing that I thought of was the reflectors, the armbands, because we have more people walking up and down that hill, and it can get pretty scary when they're all dressed in black. I think the office too, because we have.
Yeah. And some of these things out, but we can give them out. The more people giving it out, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Will do.
okay.
The funding, because I think the lady I've been talking to feels like we can get this funding. We just really need the things we're still waiting for are a location, if possible. I know there's some empty houses. I don't know if they're an appropriate location or not, and if we can access them. But if there's any suggestions on a place, I just feel like it's something that would be really nice to have, because I believe that with winter coming, and I feel like if we can stop that, if we can create a space that they can just go in, and it might not be like a full-on shelter, but somewhere just for people to get out of the cold. I think it would be nice to have that, especially right now with COVID, and especially with the liquor restriction possibly being lifted. I've already seen, even recently, people that are just sitting outside late at night. It's dark outside, and there's elders that are just sitting in random places on benches around town. That, I mean, I don't know what would happen if it was winter time and they can't get home, or if they slip and fall and nobody's really around. So if we can think of a place, but all the policy would be looked after, the insurance would be looked after, the funding for the positions, it's creating jobs for the community and a safe space. Yeah, I think it's positive on all fronts. So
I wonder if even just our own rec center at night.
I was thinking that we'd have to have a way to section off an area, because we don't want people roaming through the whole building. So then we'd have to have bathrooms, and 9 at night till 9 in the morning.
It's always empty. Have someone there just to watch them, coming in and out.
And make money for whoever's renting the space, or if the space was donated.
Center, they would, put a guy there on the night just to watch them.
We'll think about it. If anybody has any ideas, let's brainstorm, I guess, and come up with some ideas. Councillor Lafferty.
Yeah, I forgot to ask about that road condition that I was mentioning that last meeting.
Right.
Yeah, any,
Down at the end of the island,
yeah.
that was graded the next day.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that the one where, we talked about that is a bit of a, it's not really a driveway, but it runs parallel to a property, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Well, do we have any in-camera items this evening?
No.
No. Okay, then, I've got a motion moved by Councillor Bellefontaine, seconded by Councillor Morrow. The council adjourn regular meeting RM19-2020 at 8:36 PM. All in favor? 7 in favor, none against. Motion carried. And that's our evening meeting done. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Oh, I gotta go out and breathe.
Yeah. I know, it gets stuffy, eh, with these masks.
Oh, these, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's hard to breathe.
Yeah.
That's not bad, now I'm getting used to it.
Yeah.
Once your breath goes through it, you see like it makes a roll feel pretty good.
Yeah, a little better.
Yeah.